Escape room employees, what's the stupidest thing you've seen someone do to try and get out? Welcome to Reddit Cinema, take a seat and enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, hit the subscribe button below, and hit the bell to never miss a video. I can answer this. One of our rooms has a bed in it with white sheets. There was this group who was in the room working on the last puzzle, a logic puzzle. There's a sheet of paper in the room that's full of facts about a murder that you're trying to solve. The group wasn't quite getting the puzzle, so I typed up the white sheet of paper in room 3 will be a lot of help. So the group runs into the room and starts tearing all the white sheets off the bed, and I type not the bed sheets. So they start pulling the pillows out of their sheets. I then reply the sheet you write on, and lo and behold they grab the room's marker and start drawing all over the bed sheets. They didn't escape.
A few moments later.
To identify the scapegoat, somebody hasn't been pulling their weight, and by identifying the weakest link, you make the other team members feel better about themselves.
You suck!
Okay, I'm not an employee, but one of the times I went to an escape room with my sister, brother, and cousin, we decided to do something dumb. In this one escape room, it was supposed to look like a prison cell. The toilet had water in it, the sink worked, and the bars were there. It was pretty strange. So my cousin, somewhat incredibly smart, thought that something was in the toilet instantly, but he didn't know how to get it. So he thought the best idea was to drink the toilet water. And I don't mean scoop, I mean like a dog, on his knees, drinking it up. He then threw up twice, in the middle and end of drinking. He flushed it, thinking there must be something that would come out, but nothing did. The paper to help escape was behind the toilet. We escaped soon after.
The toilet is so clean, I could actually drink from it. Could actually just slice a lemon to that. Cha-ching.
Once a group disassembled a portable AC unit hoping to find a key. There wasn't any key. From that moment screwdriver were forbidden. But the best team I remember was the first team that ever played. We made a big enormous gigantic mistake. We forgot the entire detailed instructions inside the room, right at the entrance on a table. They found it immediately. They started reading it. They clearly saw that every combination, every puzzle, every piece of history, and every piece of furniture, but they didn't realize it was a complete walkthrough, and in some unknown way they failed to escape.
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
Something my group did. The scenario of the room was we were captured, and they had us all handcuffed to a cot in the room. We could move around a little bit with the chain attached to the cuffs, and since it was a small room with a light on the desk we could grab most of the puzzles and bring it to the cot. We solved a lot of the puzzles, still not finding the key to the cuffs to get free. With only a small desk lamp for light it was hard to see most of the writing, but we made do and continued to solve things. About 20 minutes of solving things still cuffed to the cot, the GM sends us a message saying you can turn on the lights. Next to the door was a light switch, and after turning on the room lights on the black wall right next to us was a black key hanging on a nail, the key to the cuffs. We escaped the room shortly after that.
Meanwhile.
We knew you could do it!
Alright, we found the number. It's 3 plus 4. That's 11. None of his 3 teammates questioned him. They kept trying the wrong number. I even teased them repeating it back to them. I love my job.
I wanted to make fun of stupid people while I get drunk. My 2 true passions.
I just assume any non-common rules given at the beginning are because some idiot has already done it. Don't jump out the 2-story window. Don't eat or drink anything that you find. Don't try to climb into the ceiling. Don't touch anything with an orange sticker, which turns out to be 80% of the room including electrical sockets.
That is brand new information!
My group had searched through the first room of an escape room looking for keys, and found a bunch, and solved a bunch of puzzles, but we couldn't figure out why we couldn't progress. We eventually asked for a clue, and it turns out we had missed a key hanging on the door frame to the second room. We felt pretty stupid, because we had combed through the room and still missed it. As we opened the door and went into the second room, I quipped that we better not miss another key hanging in plain sight. Guess what? We f***ing did. It was on the other side of the door on the same door frame. But we actually didn't need that one. It was to unlock a clue and we solved the puzzle without the missing clue.
Oh no! We suck again!
This was our group. We were having trouble with the last puzzle, to get out which, involved pressing multiple buttons. We couldn't figure out the sequences and finally asked for a hint. The employee just said all together, so now instead of pushing all the buttons at the same time, we all put our hands on the doorknob, assuming the power of friendship was what was needed to get out. The employee just went no the buttons. Cue helpless embarrassed laughter for the next half hour. With our powers combined, we humiliate ourselves.
You must be so embarrassed!
One of the benefits of going to new escape rooms is listening to the opening spiel about what you can't do in the room. I think my first ever escape room, the operator specifically told us we couldn't pull off the electrical outlet covers. I figured someone had been watching too much Breaking Bad.
Don't touch it, ever. Ever. Do not do that.
My wife likes to tell a story on how a previous male friend of hers was introduced to escape rooms. However, someone, either a friend or the employee, failed to explain that not all things in the room are meant to be taken apart or broken to receive a clue or key. As soon as the employee started the clock, the friend, thinking a wicker chair had a clue, walked over and stomped his foot right through the seat like a foot falling through a thin sheet of ice. Immediately, the employee on the intercom stutters, "Yo, you didn't have to break the chair. Props shouldn't need to be broken to get a clue." My wife mentions this story every now and then, and I still get a kick out of the thought of someone just shoving their foot through someone's old wicker chair.
Who's gonna do it? Randy Orton!
Some dude tried to jam a small iron bar into an electrical socket. Not sure if he was trying to escape the room, or life in general. My colleague managed to get to the main electrical switch before the idiot could electrocute himself. When I was 19, I got a job at a local escape room. Saturday nights were usually pretty busy, but one Saturday night, a group of about 3 girls, not that much older than I was, came in to do an escape room. We obviously have security cameras to make sure nobody's doing anything dodgy, so I was watching them. They had no clue and were starting to get really frustrated. They look at each other, say something, lay down on the floor, and start shaking vigorously. They fake seizures to try and get out of an escape room.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
I did the stupidest thing I've heard of. There was a row of chairs, just regular chairs you might see at a conference. I noticed that only one of them had the label with a barcode and serial number stuck to the bottom, so I assumed it was intentional, and started trying to apply the 10+ digit serial number to everything in the room. The game master told me I wasn't the first one. Makes me wonder why they didn't just remove the label like they did on the other chairs.
What? Why? Why?
I went to one last year and the organizers were giving us the rules beforehand, including things like, don't pull up the carpet, don't dismantle any electric devices, etc. We were laughing that people would even think of doing that, and then they told us that wasn't the worst of it. The rooms were in an old tenement building with fireplaces. Apparently one guy in the past was positive there was a clue hidden behind the old, boarded up fireplace, so he managed to break through and climb up the shaft all before staff could intervene. They had to call the fire brigade cause the guy got lost in the maze of shafts.
They've gone up the ventilation shaft.
We played through this demonic themed escape room and the guy running it would speak as the voice of Vader through the PA system. He'd give us hints when we asked for them, and would narrate story bits when appropriate. At one point there's a little fountain that pours out holy water. There's a little bottle to collect the holy water, but they only trigger the fountain enough for us to get a little holy water in the bottle. Then we are supposed to figure out we need to drip some holy water into a small hole in the box. Instead we tried dousing the holy water on just about everything else in the room. Nothing's working. Then my girlfriend's brother says, "Oh, maybe we have to drink it." And he chugs the rest of the holy water. The voice of Vade jumps in and says, "Do not waste the holy water."
I am a despicable human being.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and hit the bell below to not miss the next video.